In a world obsessed with youth, fame, and fleeting trends, one individual has defied the odds and captured the imagination of generations. A legendary star who, at almost 103 years old, is now officially recognized as the oldest living star in the entertainment industry. While many of his peers have long passed on, his enduring presence is a testament not just to longevity, but to a lifetime of resilience, talent, and influence that spans over a century. For decades, this remarkable figure has graced screens, stages, and public appearances, leaving an indelible mark on film, television, or music, depending on his craft. His career has witnessed the evolution of entertainment itself, from black and white classics to today's digital age, and yet he remains a living link to the golden eras of Hollywood or the formative years of his industry. "I've seen the world change in ways I never imagined," he once reflected. "And through it all, the love of my fans has kept me going." Despite the inevitable challenges of age, health concerns, slower pace, and a rapidly changing world, this star continues to inspire awe. Friends, family, and fans alike marvel at his sharp wit, keen mind, and undiminished spirit. His story is not just one of survival, but of thriving, adapting, and leaving a legacy that transcends time. From humble beginnings to unparalleled fame, his journey is a living chronicle of perseverance, artistry, and the human spirit. And as he approaches the remarkable milestone of 103 years, the world stops to celebrate not just a star, but an icon whose life story continues to shine brighter with every year. At almost 103 years old, the oldest living star stands as a living testament to the golden age of entertainment. His life is not merely a story of longevity, but a narrative woven with talent, perseverance, and historical significance. Few have witnessed the sweeping changes in the industry over a century, and even fewer have left a mark that spans multiple generations. Born in the early 20th century, his formative years were shaped by a world very different from the one we know today. From humble beginnings, he nurtured a love for performance that would become the cornerstone of his lifelong career. Early struggles, limited resources, and societal expectations could have easily derailed his aspirations, yet he persisted, demonstrating an extraordinary resilience that would define both his personal and professional life. By the time he entered the world of entertainment, he quickly became a standout talent. Whether in film, television, or music, he displayed a charisma and skill that captivated audiences and critics alike. His early works were often black and white classics, now considered timeless benchmarks of artistry. Audiences were drawn not only to his performances, but also to the authenticity and depth he brought to each role or composition. "I always tried to give a piece of myself in every performance," he once said. "It's not about fame. It's about touching lives." His career spanned decades, surviving the rise and fall of various trends, the introduction of new technologies, and the evolution of global entertainment standards. From live theater to radio, from black and white cinema to color film, and later to television and modern media, he adapted seamlessly, proving that true artistry is timeless. His influence shaped countless performers who followed, making him a mentor figure and a touchstone for excellence in the industry. Beyond his professional achievements, his personal life reflects the values of discipline, humility, and dedication. While fame brought wealth and accolades, he remained grounded, valuing family, friendships, and community. Colleagues often remark on his warmth, generosity, and the wisdom he imparts, making him not just a star, but a beloved figure both on and off the screen. Even now, approaching 103, his legacy continues to inspire. Interviews reveal a mind still sharp, a spirit still adventurous, and a heart still connected to the audience that has supported him for nearly a century. His life story is a reminder that while the world changes, true talent, resilience, and authenticity never fade. This is a star who has seen it all, lived through historic shifts, and yet remains a vibrant figure in the entertainment world. His journey is a celebration of longevity, artistry, and the human spirit. A century of stardom that continues to shine brighter with each passing day. As the decades unfolded, the oldest living star's career became a reflection of both triumph and tenacity. The world changed around him, from the roaring 1930s through wars, cultural revolutions, and the digital age. Yet his presence in the entertainment industry remained unwavering. While others came and went, he stood as a symbol of continuity, bridging the past and present of an ever-evolving art form. By the mid-20th century, his name was synonymous with excellence. Whether performing on screen, stage, or in front of a microphone, he delivered performances that resonated deeply with audiences. His ability to adapt his craft to new eras set him apart from his peers. When television began replacing cinema as the primary form of entertainment, he transitioned effortlessly, captivating millions of new viewers. Even as younger generations of stars rose to fame, his mastery and charisma ensured that he remained relevant and revered. "You can't stay in this business for as long as I have unless you're willing to learn," he once reflected. Every decade brings something new. New music, new styles, new expectations. You either grow or you fade. But the journey wasn't without hardship. The pressures of fame took their toll: sleepless nights, relentless schedules, and the constant scrutiny of the public eye. He faced personal struggles that few knew about, moments when the glimmer of stardom dimmed under the weight of exhaustion and expectation. Yet time and again he rose above adversity. Instead of retreating, he found strength in reinvention, exploring new creative avenues and taking on roles that challenged both his abilities and perceptions of age. As years passed, his career began to take on new meaning. He was no longer just a performer. He became a living monument of history, a storyteller whose very presence connected generations. Younger artists sought his guidance, eager to learn from someone who had not only mastered the craft, but also witnessed its entire evolution. He mentored with grace and humility, emphasizing the importance of perseverance, discipline, and authenticity. "He taught us that talent is a gift," one former co-star said, "but character is a choice, and that choice is what defines your legacy." The world's admiration for him deepened as time went on. While many of his contemporaries faded from memory, his name remained alive in documentaries, retrospectives, and tributes. His films or songs continued to inspire, studied by new generations who saw in him not just a performer, but a pioneer. The entertainment industry often hailed him as a living bridge, someone who had worked alongside legends long gone, and yet continued to witness new stars rise. Behind the fame, he led a simple, disciplined life. He valued good health, family connections, and purpose over extravagance. Even now, his days begin early, often with light exercise, reading, and moments of quiet reflection. His resilience has become a point of fascination. How does one reach 103 with such clarity, optimism, and dignity? In truth, his secret is as timeless as his career: a relentless passion for life, a love for his craft, and an unwavering gratitude for every opportunity. As the oldest living star nears his 103rd year, his influence remains unmatched. He is more than a relic of Hollywood's past. He is a living example of endurance, artistry, and the undying power of creativity. His golden years are not defined by decline, but by legacy, a shining example of how purpose keeps the human spirit alive. Even after a century in the spotlight, at nearly 103, the oldest living star's story has moved far beyond the glitz of Hollywood or the thrill of standing ovations. His life now represents something deeper, a testament to endurance, humility, and the timeless pursuit of purpose. In a world obsessed with youth and instant fame, his presence serves as a quiet reminder that greatness is not measured by moments of spotlight, but by decades of consistency, courage, and integrity. Even as his body slowed with age, his spirit remained vibrant. Those close to him describe him as sharp, humorous, and endlessly curious. His memory remains razor-sharp, often recalling names, dates, and behind-the-scenes details from a bygone era that younger generations only read about. He remembers the exact day he met Frank Sinatra, one friend said with a laugh. And he'll tell you what tie Frank was wearing that day. Yet for all his recollections, he never lets nostalgia define him. Instead, he looks forward, always eager to understand how storytelling has evolved. He's fascinated by streaming platforms, digital filmmaking, and the power of social media to connect creators and audiences. "Art doesn't die," he once said in an interview. "It changes form. The heart of it, the emotion, stays the same. That philosophy has made him a guiding light for artists across generations. From seasoned actors to rising stars, many have sought his wisdom, often finding themselves deeply moved by his sincerity. He doesn't preach fame or wealth. He talks about truth, the importance of bringing honesty to every role, song, or performance. If people can feel something real, he often says, then you've done your job. Beyond the entertainment industry, his influence extends into philanthropy. Over the years, he's quietly supported numerous charities, from children's hospitals to programs for struggling performers. He rarely publicizes his giving, preferring to let actions speak louder than words. Those close to him say his motivation is simple: gratitude. He believes he's been blessed beyond measure, said a longtime assistant. And helping others is his way of saying thank you. In his later years, he became a beloved symbol of resilience. Talk shows and magazines frequently feature him, not just to celebrate his longevity, but to explore the lessons behind it. When asked about the secret to living over a century, he often smiles and replies, "Keep laughing, keep learning, and never stop loving what you do." Despite the admiration, fame has never clouded his humility. When award ceremonies honor him with lifetime achievement trophies, he accepts them graciously, but always turns the focus back to others. "This isn't just for me," he said during one televised tribute. "It's for every actor who believed their time had passed, but kept showing up. It's for everyone who chose passion over comfort. We are all part of the same story." Those words encapsulate why his legacy continues to resonate. His name may appear in the credits of old films, but his impact lives in the hearts of those he's inspired, the filmmakers, musicians, and fans who see in him the possibility of a life well lived, even in the face of time's unrelenting march. As he approaches 103, he still spends part of his day writing letters to friends and young artists. Sometimes he answers fan mail himself, handwritten notes filled with wisdom and warmth. "If you're lucky enough to touch people's lives," he once wrote, "don't ever take it for granted. You may forget your lines, but they'll never forget your heart." In an industry often accused of forgetting its elders, he stands as living proof that true legends never fade. They evolve, inspire, and remind us that purpose is the ultimate fountain of youth. As the oldest living star nears 103, every appearance he makes feels like a living piece of history. When he walks onto a stage or appears in an interview, there's a collective hush, not out of pity or curiosity, but deep respect. People aren't just seeing an actor or performer. They're witnessing the embodiment of nearly a century of human experience. His journey through fame, failure, heartbreak, and rebirth has become a guidebook for how to live fully, gracefully, and with purpose. In recent years, he has spoken candidly about aging, not as something to fear, but as something to embrace. "Everyone talks about how short life is," he once said, his voice calm and steady. "But if you live it right, it's long enough to matter." Those who've met him say he radiates a quiet peace, a man who has made peace with time. He no longer chases fame or attention. Instead, he values connection, kindness, and the joy of still being able to share his story. At his home, walls are lined with black and white photos, moments frozen from every era of his incredible career. There he is as a young man, flashing that confident smile that once melted hearts across the world. In another, he's on set with icons now long gone, legends who once dominated Hollywood's golden age. "Sometimes I look at those photos," he said softly during a rare interview, "and I don't see stars. I see friends, people who dreamed the same dreams I did." Even now, he remains an active voice in preserving Hollywood's legacy. He's worked closely with historians and archives to ensure that the stories of the early days of cinema aren't lost to time. He often says that remembering the past isn't about nostalgia, it's about gratitude. "If we forget where we came from," he once told a young filmmaker, "we stop understanding who we are." Despite his extraordinary longevity, he is realistic about life's final act. He speaks of death not with fear, but with acceptance, a natural part of the story. "The curtain closes for everyone," he reflected. "What matters is how you performed while the lights were on." It's this attitude that has earned him admiration far beyond the entertainment industry. Scientists, philosophers, and everyday people alike find his outlook profoundly human, the calm wisdom of a man who has truly seen it all. As the years advance, his public appearances have grown rare, yet whenever he does appear, the response is overwhelming. Crowds rise to their feet. Tears fill eyes. Generations, separated by nearly a century, come together in shared admiration. It's not just about who he was. It's about what he represents: perseverance, integrity, love for one's craft. His health, though fragile, remains remarkably stable for someone of his age. Doctors attribute it to routine. He still walks daily, eats simply, and surrounds himself with positivity. He often jokes that laughter has kept him alive. "If you can still laugh at 100, he quips, "you're winning." His humor and humility have become his trademarks, reminders that dignity and joy can coexist even in life's twilight. As the final curtain gradually draws near, his story leaves behind more than just art. It leaves wisdom. He has taught millions that a meaningful life isn't about being the richest, most famous, or most powerful. It's about lasting impact. His legacy proves that authenticity, resilience, and compassion outshine fame every time. And so, as the world continues to change, as technologies evolve, trends come and go, and new stars rise, one truth remains: legends like him never truly disappear. They live on in the laughter, tears, and inspiration they've gifted to generations. When asked once what he wanted people to remember about him, he smiled and said,